Hi, I'm Alicia and welcome to my channel Papercraft Secrets. Today I'm sharing a set of cards that I created with the Stamperia Sweety Scrapbooking Kit. This is a beautiful kit. It's filled with lots of cupcakes and chocolate cakes and delicious things to eat, beautiful colours, sort of like a vintage paper theme, and I'm going to show you how to create beautiful cards with this collection. The first thing I did was fussy cut out some elements from this collection, and you can see that there are a lot of elements in this collection. Let's take a look at the beautiful papers. You can see so many beautiful floral clusters, teapots, cakes, ice creams, biscuits. And the colours are so beautiful, pinks and blues and mint greens. It really is such a lovely collection and so versatile, but perfect for making birthday cards or thank you cards or scrapbooking some of those birthday memories, or maybe some kitchen photographs that you've got, some recipes. So I really fell in love with this collection when I saw it, and I chose these 3 cakes that I wanted to use on my cards. I started with some 12 by 12 white cardstock, and I like to cut my cardstock to 8 by 8 inches and then fold it in half to create a slimline card. I just use that bone folder to smooth down my fold so that it's nice and firm. Here I go again, doing another 8 by 8 inch square and folding that card in half, and then one more 8 by 8 inches square for my third card. I'm choosing some background paper that will go onto the front of my cards. I'm cutting this at 3 3/4 inches by 7 3/4 inches to give me a rectangle which will fit on my card with a white border around the edge of the card. So that's 7 3/4 by 3 3/4. I'm going to cut that again, 3 3/4, and again at 3 3/4. All right, let's have a look at what this looks like. Putting some glue on the back of my paper and then adhering it to the front of my card. And I love this paper. I think it's beautiful. I love the 3 layers or the 4 layers of different papers, sort of different designs. It creates a very interesting front cover. And I'm going to place my cakes in the top section of the card. I've used a metal die to cut this fancy circle out of some white cardstock, and I'm pasting that on top of the circles which have my cakes on them. This will frame the image. Just popping that on there, looking so beautiful. I'm going to use some recycled cardboard to put underneath the framed circles to elevate them on my card. Just gluing those down, and you can already see how pretty these cards will be. The same die cuts out these fancy filigree corners, which I did consider using on my cards, but as you can see, the white corner doesn't stand out so well on the cream part at the top, so I do change that a little bit later. I'm finding some beautiful prima flowers to decorate my cards with, and these are a large flower that takes up a lot of space on the card. I'm using some Bloomer chipboard to create thank you cards, and I'm going to probably put my chipboard down the bottom of the card. I may need to move my little ornate corner to the top. I'm going to be using some crinkled ribbon to add to my flower. So I'm making that into a bow, and then I will stick that underneath my flower. I've just chosen some pink ribbon for this. Instead of the paper die cut corner, I decided to change my design to these gold corners that I had in my stash. I actually really like adding gold to a card, and I think this will set the card off quite nicely. I glue those corners down onto the top two corners of each of my cards, and I think this really does complement the beautiful Stamperia Sweety papers. It's time to glue down my ribbon and my flower now onto my card. Just using some liquid glue. And making sure that's all glued down nicely. And now I'm going to glue on my sentiment at the bottom of each of my cards. Beautiful. That's looking really nice. I'm going to take some Kindy Glitz, and I am just adding some gold Kindy Glitz on top of my sentiment. So this will match in beautifully with my gold corners at the top of the card. And all I have to do here is just trace over the wooden sentiment, and the Kindy Glitz gives a great coverage on the wood. And then I just need to leave that to dry. And that's my cards finished. It's my first set of cards. Now I'm moving on to another set of cards using the same Stamperia Sweety Collection. And this time I'm using some doilies. I've got some smaller circles that I'm going to use, and they fit perfectly into the center of these white doilies. I'm using a pre-cut card by Craft for this set of cards, And now I'm going to glue each of the gorgeous circles onto the center of my doilies. And then my doily will fit in the middle of the card, but of course I need to add some paper to the front cover of my card. And there are many different designs of paper that I could choose from in the collection. Again, I'm going to leave a little white border around the edge. So I'm going to cut my squares to 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 inches. And this will be perfect for the pre-cut cards that I'm using. I'm going to need another piece of paper. And again, cutting to 5 1/4 inches. And I'm just counting out to check that I've got the amount that I need. So here's my pre-cut cards that I'm going to be decorating. I'm adding some glue to the back of my Stamperia papers. And then I'm going to adhere those papers to the base of my card. And again, the papers do all of the work in this card set. The colors are so pretty, the design is so pretty. There's lots for the eye to look at. Okay, and that's the base completed. I'm going to use again some recycled cardboard to elevate my doily on the card. And you can see how quick and easy this is to create some beautiful cards with Stamperia papers. Just repeating that same process until all of the cards have their doily glued on. There we go. Now I'm looking for flowers that I can add to my cards. And again, I'm using Prima flowers. Sometimes I'm going to use 2 small flowers, other times I'm going to use a larger flower. And I'm going to use the same crinkled pink ribbon to go underneath my flowers. So I'm just going through and cutting a bow for each of my cards. And gluing those flowers down and gluing the bows down. I'm assembling all of the elements of my card. And they're looking so pretty. And now I'm going to add a sentiment, a wooden sentiment to each one of my cards. And these say best wishes. So this can be used for a variety of occasions. It doesn't just have to be birthday. Best wishes sentiment is very generic. So I'm just finding some more of those. And sticking those down onto the base of the cards. Nearly done. All done now, beautiful. Just making sure that they're nice and straight. And I'm reaching for those gold corners again because, I mean, they're just so easy and so pretty. I just add a little bit of gold bling to my cards. And these cards are very, very simple cards, but there's enough different elements on the cards to make them look pretty, and because we're using such beautiful Stamperia papers, they do a lot of the work for us anyway. So creating these cards was enjoyable and fun and easy. My last step on these cards is to add that Kinderglitz to each one of the sentiments, tracing the word to add a little bit more gold bling. And there's our card. So pretty. I love them. I hope you like them too. We're going to add some paper to the inside of our cards now. So I just went through and cut some papers from the collection, and there's also some little note card type elements that you can use. So I've added a little element on top for a space to write the message in. And then we're just repeating that same process with our second card. That's quite cute. Pop that on there for a little space to write the message. And then our third card, we're popping that on. Some nice horizontal stripes on this one. Just adding that little top bit on so that we've got a space to write a message. And that's those three cards all finished. And now just adding on the papers on the inside of the square cards. More beautiful Stamperia papers. And then I'm just adding a little space to write a message on the inside of each card. So just gluing those on top. And that is the completion of our cards. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that it provided you with some inspiration to make some beautiful cards with the Stamperia Sweety Collection. These cards were really fun to make. They were easy to put together, and the papers, the beautiful papers, do all the work for us. Hop on over to my website at www.papercraftsecrets.com.au for more card making ideas. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching and have a lovely crafty day.